How could you do this? And on top of that, you're still trying to hide it. You covered up this car accident thoroughly and expensively.
I'd recommend it to everyone, but good luck getting in.
But right now, we're moving to a new shop. It's Friday, the naughty one. And what do we do on Fridays? Unfortunately, I won't be going there myself, our team will. The mechanics always post in the group about damaged wires. It's really interesting to see how everything's laid out. Just thrown together, screws lying around, nothing's even fastened properly. Here too, the wires. Look, the insulation is damaged. On this 2025 truck, the cabin was replaced, and there are tons of cut wires everywhere. Oh wow, what's this? Someone's been cutting things here too. Cut here, cut there, why? No idea. I can't wait for us to move to the new place. There's going to be so much more space there. Although, when we first moved here 3 years ago, I remember thinking, wow, there's so much room. How are we ever going to fill it with work? Now there's so much work that there's literally nowhere to put it. But that's a good problem to have. So, as always, you know where to find us if you need quality service. Let's go. Now we're going to inspect the repair done by another shop. They took money for supposedly cleaning, removing, and regenerating the DPF. But the driver is still complaining about the same error. It's driven about 40 miles since that cleaning, right? Around 40. We'll check to see if there are any visible cracks and also see how they did their work. The bolts here are not original. They should be 8s, but there are 10s or even 11s instead. Interesting. Let's take a look inside. Well, there's still a chance we'll have to remove it. Yeah guys, check this out. An interesting situation here. Just about 50 miles ago, the DPF was removed and cleaned. Normally, these clamps should always be replaced with new ones. But here, they're still the old ones. You can see they've been taken off, hit, and banged around. It definitely shouldn't look like this. Alright then, let's keep taking it apart and see what's going on. I think 50 miles should be enough. By the way, this is a really interesting paste here. If anyone knows what kind of paste this is, the one used instead of original gaskets, let me know in the comments. Maybe there's something I don't know and I still have to learn. Thanks. Let's see. By the way, there's this common habit, people think they should go where it's cheaper and everything will be done just fine. Unfortunately, we've already seen while filming how they reinstalled the clamp, even though it's supposed to be single use. These DPF filters have just been through regeneration. Yeah, they sent them somewhere to get them regenerated. Originally, these filters didn't even need to be sent anywhere. They already had a problem. The truck went just 40 miles after the DPF was regenerated and poorly reassembled. And take a look at this. There's a crack here. A crack in the DPF. You can see it right here and another one over here. They smeared some kind of paste on it instead of replacing the clamps just to save money. Sure, it was cheap. But the driver wasted time going there, installing it, coming back, and still failing the carb test. So now we can clearly see and confirm the issue and the unprofessional work done by that shop. But in any case, we're now recommending this customer call that shop and say, hey, how about you refund me for the DPF cleaning and replacement? Since I have to install new DPF filters now, and I'm left without a load on a Friday. Basically, he needs to get that $1,000 back because replacing this DPF filter now will cost around $3,200 to $3,300 when you get a certain type of error. The first step is to run a regen through Diagnostics. But if after the regen you still see the same error, then in 99% of cases, it's exactly this kind of situation. You don't need to clean it with water or anything like that. If it's clogged, the issue isn't with the DPF itself. It's usually caused by something else, like malfunctioning injectors. Same thing if, let's say, the engine is burning oil or the EGR valve is leaking.
You've already cleaned it. You came to conclusion.
Yeah, I came to the conclusion that there's really no need for that. Speaking broadly, if we start to realize that the DPF filter needs to be removed because it's clogged and we can't clean it through a regeneration process, then in 99% of cases, we'll be able to see it. Look here, this one completely fell apart. See how soft it is? Look what it's turned into, just sand. It's not supposed to be like that. And this one, by the way, is a reman. We don't use remans at all. It's new, look here, see the crack, see it? Alright guys, another win. We finally finished working on this truck. In the end, it just needed a simple head replacement, only about $13,000. And, as I've said many times before, here's why. We use only original heads, never chase the cheapest option. This truck can easily go another 600,000 miles, maybe even 1,000,000 with this new head bought directly from the dealer. And by the way, it comes with a warranty, so if anything goes wrong, it's covered. And by the way, after we finish, we're going to take it out for a 200-mile test drive. That's about 2 to 3 hours on the road before handing the truck back to the customer. This is a mandatory inspection after such a major repair. Not many shops actually do it, but we do. It took us 3 days to get this truck fixed, and I know a lot of you will be curious about how the whole process went. So check out the video popping up right here on the screen showing exactly how we rebuilt this truck. Why are you here again?
Stopped by while passing through. Needed to change the oil and all the filters, install an extra cooling fan switch since summer's coming and the roads are going to be tough, and also replace the tires. No complaints at all after the work these guys did.
So, you'll be coming back, right? We have to unscrew his wheels so he comes back.
Yes, I came without any complaints. Just scheduled replacements.
Great.
I'd recommend it to everyone, but good luck getting in.
No. We're actually moving to a new shop right now.
That's better.
By the way, here's a link to the video where I talk about this new shop. Make sure to check it out. We will move closer to November. Guys, we've got a little incident with my truck here. One of my owner-operators, my client, his name is Oleg, we won't show or promote him, his truck broke down, so I lent him mine so he could keep driving and stay on the road for a while. And we see now, the adjuster just arrived. This guy, back on April 24th, somehow rolled off without setting the brakes and wrecked 2 air tanks, 2 DEF tanks, 2 fuel tanks, all these brackets, and of course, completely smashed these fairings lying here. And many of you who own a Kenworth know exactly what I mean when I say body parts for Kenworths are priced like they're made of gold. For example, this whole part right here, the entire assembly, costs almost 5,000 bucks. Each tank is 5 grand. That's insane. And on the other side, it's the same story. Seriously, Oleg, how could you do this? And on top of that, you're still trying to hide it. When the adjuster calls you, you just say, I didn't do anything. Very interesting position. You hid this accident. You didn't report this accident. Now I'm having trouble opening a claim. The adjuster just arrived. Thankfully, it looks like we're opening it. The repair, based on the initial estimate, is almost $60,000 because the auto treatment of the tank is also damaged, and it's a leased truck. They're going to charge me for every scratch on that truck. So, be careful if you see a driver named Oleg. He's not always a good driver. So, there are metal shavings here, but these shavings are from something that was drilled here before. There's quite a lot of them. Different tanks were installed here. The tanks on this truck are clearly not the original ones. This is just mechanical shavings from drilling the tanks themselves. This isn't the same kind of shavings. Your tanks aren't from this truck, right? You replaced them, didn't you? So, something have been left inside from the drilling and similar work, because when your fuel pump starts breaking down, the shavings will look like fine dust. This filter, or rather, the separator, will turn gray right away. And inside the tanks, you'll get little dunes because the return line throws it back. So what you see there isn't that kind of shavings. That's just dust. Just dust, but this here isn't dust. And that dust is magnetic, while this looks like plain aluminum that was drilled. Friends, this tough week has finally come to an end. There were many interesting stories. Here you'll find our playlist with everything that happened. We keep moving forward. Soon we're moving to a new shop. Andre, what interesting things happened this week?
The week was definitely busy and intense. Different clients, different people, different problems. We always try to help everyone, sometimes to save you money, sometimes to assist, to advise, or to teach. That's why we're here, so that you stay with us and we can help you.
But once again, we found so many stories where people tried to save money on repairs.
They still came back.
So, cheap just doesn't happen. Good and cheap don't go together. All right, friends, have a great weekend.
And we'll see you at the shop.
Давай, бухать, где же бухать? Бухать, он до сих пор снимает, бухать. Кто я? Мы легковые машины не обслуживаем, но мне кажется, у вас проблема с тормозными дисками.